May I help you, officer?
I need to see your license, your registration, and proof of insurance, please. Someday. Just a moment. You're free to go. Slow down. There's a lot of deer out here this time of year.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your concern.
Sir! Put both your hands outside the vehicle right now. Do it now. Now come out real slow, with your back to me. Place both your hands behind your head. Get down on your knees. What's in the van?
A dog. See for yourself.
Do not move or I will shoot you. Do you understand?
Of course I do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage.
Good afternoon, Miss Kirkland. I'm Special Agent Curtis Miller. We spoke on the phone?
Yes, of course.
Thank you for coming in. Please, sit down. How was the flight?
It was fine, thank you. A beautiful family.
Thank you. Are you married?
Divorced. I have one daughter. She's in college out east.
I don't look forward to that.
Yes, it happens too fast.
I bet. So, tell me a little about what you do. You're a consultant, correct?
I am currently employed at the Institute of Metaphysics and Parapsychology in Atlanta.
Is that a real institution?
Are my credentials in question here?
No, absolutely not. I understand that you received a commendation for work you did on a missing persons case in Tampa last year. You found a woman.
That's correct, yes.
Do you consult often?
Sometimes. When the law enforcement finds itself in an unusual situation where the normal standard protocol of investigation isn't working, I'm asked to come in with different eyes.
At one point you applied to the Bureau. With your education, you certainly would have qualified. However, your file shows that you sought psychiatric assistance more than once. In addition, you have multiple misdemeanor marijuana charges.
When I arrived here, and you decided to remind me of a difficult time in my life, did you assume that that would entice me to help you? I only ask because I just took a 4-hour flight at your request. You could have just offered me a cup of coffee.
I'm just trying to gauge the level of liability that your involvement could have in this investigation.
Well, I think your tactics are premature. At this point, I have not committed myself to you or the investigation.
I want to know who I'm working with. Nothing personal. You can understand that, right?
Did that file tell you in the last 22 years, I've been brought in on 17 cases. Of those, I've brought 14 home, most of them high profile.
It does? Can you explain to me what it is that you do? What is it that you do that's made you so successful in all these cases?
I'm sorry, no.
Is that because you're being difficult, or because you just don't know?
Neither. I simply do not possess the intellectual capacity to ascertain a sequence of words from the English vocabulary so that you might understand it.
I find that very unusual.
So do I. You mentioned over the phone that you had some questions for me in regards to a case. Is that true?
Yes.
Do you want me to help you?
Have you seen this before?
Yes, I've seen that before. That's the Tampa case. Who is she?
Her name is Beverly Downing.
When was this photo taken?
3 days ago. Maybe 4.
Is she still alive?
At this point, we don't know. We have spoken to her agent. She was concerned. She had not heard from Beverly since she had left town, but let me start from the beginning. She had met with her on the 26th at approximately 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, now that you're finally back, tell me this $1 million idea.
I found this story. There's this tiny village in Northern California, a coastal fishing town made up primarily of American Indian tribe called Wiyot. Anyway, there's this young father and his 2 daughters were found dead in their home there. The mother disappeared and is still missing.
So the mother killed the family to start a new life, or she was taken by the psychotic monster who killed her family. Either way, I've heard it before.
I don't think so. The cause of death was indeterminable. There was no evidence found in the home. The bodies that were in the home appeared to be either hiding or trying to escape. And sounds as if whoever runs that village was trying to keep the whole thing under wraps. They didn't call the FBI because the crime happened on Wiyot reservation land.
Conspiracy theories are interesting. How did you find out about it?
Because one of the investigating officers' testimony got leaked to the net. They forced him out of the department for it. So whatever he thinks happened that night was enough to cost him his job.
It's got legs. I like it. When do you start writing?
As soon as I get there,
You're going to this place?
I'll do you one better. I found the realtor, and that house is still vacant. They can't get it sold. So I talked her into letting me rent it for a month.
So that was the last time anyone heard from her?
No. We also know that before she had left, she had spoken to... Here it is. Later in the day, she had went in to see Richard Carter, her sponsor.
Sponsor?
Beverly's an alcoholic. She's the writer whose high-powered attorney got those DUI charges all but dropped last year, remember? She was appointed a sponsor when she joined AA as part of her plea deal.
I understand why you feel you need to go, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you I was concerned. You're doing so well right now, and I would hate to see your progress falter because you found yourself in unfamiliar surroundings. Setbacks are very common under these circumstances.
I understand your concern, but I have your phone number. I'll use it if I need to. And to be fair, this is my 212th sober day. I know how this works. I know that this will always be with me. I really think it's time for me to allow myself to focus on other things in my life. I really think it's going to be all right. And I need to do this now.
We know she made it there because she signed the paperwork with the realtor in order to get the keys to that house. Local investigators found her things were still in the house. Her rental car was there too.
Dear Miss Downing, I have taken the liberty of removing the furniture covers and have done a little dusting. The bed is also clean and ready for you. I hope you will enjoy this wine as you soak in the beautiful scenery. Okay, it's day 2 in this house. I couldn't sleep last night. So it's really early in the morning. So I'm going to take this time to do a tour of the house. I'm going to go room by room, and as I do that, I'm going to refer to the Humboldt County Coroner's Report. So, let's get started. All right, boy, looking out the window, it looks like a really foggy day's starting. Okay, well, we're walking down the hallway. This is the main hallway of the house. The master bedroom. This is the master bedroom. Pretty typical master bedroom. Nothing really too unusual about it. This is the bed where Carla and Jack would have been sleeping. Okay. This bedroom would have been the girls' room. Wow, there's a really heavy feeling in this room. I'm not trying to be dramatic or imply some sort of sensory, but there is such a deep sadness in this room. I can't imagine what those little girls went through the last moments of their life. Wow. Okay. Okay. Melissa, age 7, was lying on her back on the bed. Lord, I hope she didn't suffer. And her little sister Claire, she was age 3. She was found lying on her side, halfway into this closet. Oh, poor little girls. Okay. Let's move on. The bathroom. Jack, the father, was found laying face down on the bathroom floor. He had no ligature marks and actually no external wounds at all. The coroner's report said that he died of a heart attack. Jack was 33 years old. And he was in perfect health according to his last physical, which was just 6 months ago. What? What is that? Hi, Rich. It's Beverly. Hey, I'm calling to let you know that I experienced some kind of panic. You know, like a panic attack. You know, I got really scared, and I promised that I would call and keep you in the loop, so that's why I'm calling. And I'm okay now. I mean, I don't want you to worry. And man, I'm rambling. Look, why don't you just call me when you get this, okay? Bye.
Well, that's interesting. What do you think spooked her so much?
I don't know.
Thank you for seeing me. I'll try to make this quick.
I don't mind the company. Would you like a drink?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Suit yourself. I really don't think I have anything to say that hasn't been said already.
It was reported that you were forced to resign because of your theory about the murder. I am not here to judge. I wanted to learn the truth. What do you think happened?
I do not think anything. I know for a fact. This is not the first time something like this has happened around here. The indigenous people are very spiritual. Sometimes their beliefs are just too fantastic for outsiders to accept. Well, the Europeans brought their stories of the Bible, but when the elders would speak of their culture, it was taken as stories of like fairies and unicorns.
Like I said before, I'm not here to judge. I want the truth.
Have you heard about the Auric?
No.
This land belongs to the Wiyot Indians. Now, some time ago, there's a story of twin brothers, warriors of their tribe. And one day, these brothers were out hunting, but they were suddenly ambushed by warriors of another tribe. Now, they fought, but they were outnumbered. Now, one brother bolted and escaped, thinking that his brother was right behind him, but the other did not escape and was slaughtered. The one who lived never forgave himself. So he went to the sacred Cryo Rock, hoping that he could connect with his brother there in the spirit world. Over time, he went more and more frequently to this place, and it changed him. He was not the warrior he once was. The elders called him the Auric. Now, one time he didn't return, and after this, people would disappear. Whenever someone went missing, the elders would say, the Auric took them.
What do you mean, the Auric?
The best translation I can come up with is, I take what is mine.
So you believe that this twin brother took the mother and killed the family?
Ma'am, this story is 150 years old. Of course not. But there are people that live around here that do believe in such things. This is a very different place. Things are very different in these woods. Now, it's been hidden from the rest of the world for such a long time for a reason. Just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it isn't real.
Please tell me about Daryl Mott.
Well, there's not much to say. He was the only person that was interviewed in the case, and he'd been spotted in the vicinity of the house that evening. Now, he was in a parked car, and there was no alibi, but there was no evidence against him either.
So they just let him go?
There was nothing to hold him with.
How do I find him?
I couldn't say. I haven't seen him lately, but we call folks like him hill people. They come down from the woods to here and go to the coast. They usually don't stay here very long before they go back. It seems like he had a place by the lighthouse, if I remember right.
I want to thank you for your time.
You seem like a nice person, so let me give you some advice. Get the hell away from here. This place is not safe for you.
Has anyone spoke to the deputy?
Yes, a pair of field agents flew in from Reading and talked to him. He was basically a glorified constable in the town. He says he spoke with Beverly at his home and then she left. He assumed to go looking for this Daryl Mott character, and that's pretty much it. Now he says he was forced off the job, but what the field agents found was that he likes his scotch. So it sounds to me there was more than his views on this case that cost him his job.
So Beverly Downing was told it was a cover-up by a drunk, and she believed him.
Well, maybe there was and maybe there wasn't. I don't know, and it's not my primary focus.
Well, sure, but if a family dies inexplicably in the same house that a missing woman was last seen, I mean, that makes it a point of interest, correct?
It could very well be, but I think you should hear all that we know to avoid conjecture.
Well, what about this Daryl Mott?
Hello? I'm looking for Daryl Mott. Is anyone here?
Daryl Mott is a person of interest, and we're tracking him down as we speak.
Hey, Rich, it's Beverly. It's happened again. And I'm really getting scared now. Why haven't you called me back? I'm having really weird dreams. And I don't even want to go to sleep anymore. I feel like someone is watching me sleep. I just need you to call me back, okay? I'm having a really tough time right now.
Did he call her back?
No. And here's a doozy for you. After his meeting with her, he was hit by a car on his bike. We contacted local PD to pick him up for questioning. They found him in the ER at Mercy Hospital. We secured his cell phone.
If you listen to her calls, you can hear her spiraling. She's losing control. And this man was her safety net. Maybe when he didn't answer, she got more desperate. Maybe you don't have a foul play here at all.
What do you mean?
It could have been an accident. She could have committed suicide. I know you don't have a body, but she could have fallen or drowned.
Let me finish telling you what I have, then tell me what you think.
Rich, I've really done it this time. I found a bottle of wine, and I drank it. All of it. I feel so guilty. I feel so ashamed. You were right. I should never have left home. There's no book here. It's all dead ends. I just want to come home. I'm so sorry. I can see you. Will it hurt? But I'm afraid. Now?
So someone was there with her?
Certainly would appear so.
Has forensics been able to break down the audio from her last message?
It's been sent to the lab in Quantico. Nothing yet.
Any indication that there was a struggle at the scene?
It was clean.
You showed me a symbol earlier. You said it was found at Beverly Downing's crime scene. Well, it was also found at the kidnapping in Tampa last year.
I know. That's why I asked you here. I believe that they're connected, but there's more. You saw the symbol in Tampa. You found the woman, but there was never a suspect. But what was missed was Mary Shaw.
Who?
A 26-year-old mother of 4. She disappeared 3 weeks after Tampa from Shreveport. Again, the family is murdered. Again, the symbol's found in her home, this time on a mirror. When you found the first woman, you botched his plans, forcing him to regroup. He just took his little circus act down the road. You set him back a few weeks, but he still nabbed another Vic. Mary Shaw is still missing.
All right, I agree that there could be a connection, but all the previous cases, the women were in their 20s or their 30s with a family. Why change now, huh? I mean, why Beverly Downing? A single woman in her 50s? And more to the point, why are you working this crime here in Des Moines? Shouldn't Sacramento be picking it up now?
20 minutes from here, another woman was taken. They found her husband's body with a symbol carved into his back outside the home. It's happening here, right now. I want you to help me on this case. So far, you're the only one that's gotten close, and that woman could still be alive. Mitchell Horton, 36 years old. He's lived in this house his whole life, no record of any kind. Married to the missing woman for 12 years.
Well, whoever did this wasn't in a hurry. Took his time. Had a plan. What's troubling is this sudden display of rage. I mean, he's always killed the family, but not so savagely. He likes it. It's gonna get worse.
Well, in your opinion, why the sudden acceleration?
Maybe he knows that we're closing in and he feels compelled to finish whatever it is he started. Or could be testing his boundaries either way. He's building the foundation for his main intention.
What is his main intention?
I don't know, Curtis. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Hey, we have a little girl in here, and she's alive.
Beatrice, my name is Kurt. I know you've already met my friend Miranda. Your job is to make sure that you are safe, and she is very good at her job. The woman next to me is my friend Agatha. It is our job to find out what happened at your house. Now I know you don't feel good, and I'm going to leave you alone so you can rest in just a minute, but first I need to ask you a few questions, okay? Did you see the face of the person at your house? Okay, honey. We're going to let you rest. We'll come and check on you a little later. How long will she be like this?
She's scheduled for a psych evaluation in the morning. We may have a better idea then.
She's a material witness. She may have seen the face of the attacker. Every minute is crucial.
Kurt, I understand, but you said it yourself. I'm here for one reason, and that's to protect her. Nothing else.
Please give me 60 seconds to speak with her.
That's not a good idea.
At any time you don't like it, pull the plug.
Kurt, if this goes south, it's on you.
Hi, Beatrice. You know what this is? I want to ask you a favor, Beatrice. I want you to count to 60 slowly in your head. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. They may not make any sense to you, but no matter what, ignore them and just concentrate on counting. When you're ready to speak, just say whatever number is in your head so I know how much time I have. I need your help, Beatrice. You and I, we're on a team. We can depend on each other, don't you think? You ready? Here we go. Every day, the sky is different. When I say this, what do you see? When the stars in the skies shine bright, they're able to make pictures. Can you see these pictures?
49. that, Mom?
I don't know. Do me a favor. Go to the basement and get a can of stewed tomatoes for dinner.
No, not that.
Don't argue with me. Move your butt. When you're done with that, get that homework done.
Fine.
Can I help you?
There's no such thing as monsters. Now, there are some people that want to become a monster.
56.
Someone came to your house that wants to be a monster.
57.
Every monster is special. What's special about yours?
60.
I need something to write on.
What the hell was all that?
All what?
The sand and the questions and all that.
She wrote something down.
And?
R-O-O-I.
What the hell is that?
Roy is an Afrikaans word. The English translation is red.
Well, I don't want to be critical of the state's curriculum, but I really don't think she was learning that in school here. She must have misspelled it. Or hell, maybe she was delusional. She could barely move in there.
Maybe she heard it from him.
But why? That doesn't compute.
Well, of course it doesn't compute. You're sane. The person who is able to do this crime is able to break through the impetus that stops most of us humans from not becoming what he is.
And what is that?
All of us have urges to lash out at varying degrees. You know, it's a traffic jam, a fight with a spouse. Maybe you want to throw something or hit somebody. Maybe you can kill. But we know that it's wrong. Something in our brain says stop. You don't want to go there. There are consequences. You don't want to go this far. So we stop and just fantasize about it for a little while, and then most of us stop.
So what you're saying is that his brain is unable to make him see what he's doing is wrong.
There are three possibilities. First, when a person is so overcome with emotion that they can't stop what they're doing even though they know that they should. And those crimes are usually called crimes of passion. The second is when the person knows that it's wrong, but don't care. You know, psychopath has no moral compass. And the third is much darker and very rare. And this person is very dangerous because they think that they are a savior in this otherwise bleak world, and that what they're doing is righteous. And I think that's what we need to prepare ourselves to be dealing with.
Have you looked at Daryl Mott's file?
No, not yet. Why?
It's down by your feet. Did you grab it?
Has he been picked up?
Not yet.
Military experience, multiple domestic violence charges. 28 months in Pelican Bay after he was discharged. Manslaughter. I grew up near Kansas City. His mother still lives there. We could be there in a little over 2 hours.
Are you aware that your son's being sought for questioning in connection with a homicide investigation?
Like I said, he ain't here.
When was the last time you saw Daryl?
Couldn't say. He's a son of a bitch. He's stolen things from me, time after time. Left me with his 2 bastard kids. One of them's messed up on account of her mama was a crackhead while she was carrying. Think he so much as even calls on them kids. If I knew where he was, I might even tell you, but I don't.
Ma'am, do you know if your son is a violent person? Are you aware of him ever hurting anyone?
Who'd you say you work for?
The FBI.
Can I tell you something?
Okay.
You remember being a kid and playing on merry-go-rounds? You hardly ever see them anymore, but every playground had one back in the day.
Sure.
Well, you remember how when that thing got to just spinning so fast you had to hold on for dear life so to not fall off. And your head was spinning so fast. First it was fun, exciting. Then all of a sudden, it was scary. And you want to get off, but you just have to hold on tight till you couldn't no more. But it's just too strong, and you lose your grip. But you always come back. Every time. You couldn't stay away.
Where are you going with this, Lorene?
When he was about 13 years old, Daryl came home from school, saw his father beating me. Wasn't the first time he saw it. Like that old merry-go-round, I always came back. But on this day, I guess Daryl had seen enough. He killed his daddy. Right over there. Shot him in the chest. Twice. Then he buried him out in the backyard underneath that old tree.
Lorene, are you stating that your dead husband's been buried out in your backyard for 20 years?
That's why you're here, ain't it? What took you so long?
Excuse me.
Lorene, do you realize that your son was trying to help you when he killed your husband?
I hate him for what he took from me. I hope he burns in hell.
U.S. Marshals have found your son. He's en route to Des Moines as we speak and should be there in a few hours. Daryl Mott? I'm Special Agent Curtis Miller. We need to ask you a few questions. Daryl, you were questioned on a missing persons case in Northern California. Your boss and his two little girls were murdered. You were seen at the house that night. What were you doing there?
Would you do me a favor? Go get me a sandwich and a pillow and get the fuck away from me.
Why were you there, Daryl? I can understand if you hated your boss. You wanted to hurt him. Hell, who hasn't wanted to slap the taste out of their boss's mouth before? But why'd you have to hurt those 2 little girls?
Fuck you. I never lifted a finger towards her or those little girls. I wasn't there to hurt people.
Why were you there?
Go to hell.
Saw your mother today.
Yeah, if that's true, then you know she's crazy.
Crazy enough to tell me about her little garden. Sounds like your father was a real piece of work.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Cut the shit, Daryl. Your mother and her stories don't matter to me. I want to know what happened to that family. What were you doing there?
And the shit with my mom?
What shit?
Carla and I, we were messing around. And her and her old man weren't getting along anyway.
What kind of problems?
I don't know. They didn't get along. I didn't ask.
So what happened?
We kind of started to like each other. A lot. And it was getting pretty serious, like she would leave him for me serious. So that's what we decided to do. I was there to pick her up that night. She was leaving him and we were going to go to Oregon. I mean, I waited and waited, but she never came. I mean, I must have dozed off for about a minute. Next thing I know, I've got a flashlight in my face and they're trying to pin this whole thing on me.
Maybe she changed her mind and you didn't like that. Is that what really happened?
No, it ain't like that. She never came out. I mean, I know I fucked up before, but I don't hurt good people. You're wasting your time with me.
We'll be in touch.
Hey, assholes.
What is it?
I don't know. Probably nothing.
Spit it out.
The night of the murders, there was this girl or woman. She was standing across the street just staring at the house. And I was in the yard waiting for the boss because I would ride with him to the dock. And I was smoking a cigarette and I see this nut job staring at me. And I started walking towards her thinking that if she saw my big ass coming, she'd knock it off. But she didn't care about me. She was just staring at the house.
So what did you do?
Nothing. Bitch didn't even weigh $110, so I just left it at that.
What did the authorities that picked you up say about her?
Man, they didn't give a shit.
What was your impression of this woman?
What kind of question is that? I already told you I didn't talk to her.
Yeah, I know that. Let me rephrase. At one point you said that you thought she was looking at you, and you obviously were uncomfortable by that because you were going to confront her, so you were about to engage her, but then you changed your mind. Did you feel threatened by her?
No, she was a tiny woman.
Yeah, I know that. But what were you feeling like when she looked at you? It's a very simple question, Daryl.
Like she'd kill me if she had the chance. It was almost like she didn't have anything to be afraid of.
All right, so let's talk about Miss Crazy Eyes. What did she look like? Anything distinct about her?
Nothing really. I mean, dark hair, about 25, and she also had a tattoo on her wrist.
What? Are you certain?
Yeah. That's her.
Are you sure?
Sure as shit, that's her. She looked better there, though.
So I guess you'll be going home in the morning?
He found Mary Shaw out of hundreds of photos.
He could have seen her on TV.
True, but I think that's quite a leap.
Oh, but you're going to tell me that you believe that Mary Shaw, a woman who was kidnapped a year ago, murdered a family and kidnapped 2 women in Northern California.
I don't know, but I think it would be a mistake for us to dismiss it.
I don't want you to take this personally, but I'm really not impressed with your contribution here so far. All I'm getting from you is a bunch of I don't knows.
Do you want me to make up things and then force evidence to fit into scenarios that you think are really good?
You don't have to make things up. We have our suspect in custody. He was at the scene. He admitted to being there. This exhibits opportunity and motive.
What motive?
He was sleeping with his boss's wife. He wanted her to leave her husband, but she wouldn't, so he stalked her, murdered the family. He took her somewhere and probably murdered her too. I think that makes a hell of a lot more sense than some phantom woman with creepy eyes. He has a history of violence and he fits every profile. Insane and overbearing mother, unstable work history, age, race, an inability to connect socially. All we need is for that little girl from the farm to identify him, and we move from hunting him to possibly finding the mother still alive.
These crimes are spread all over the country. How do you explain that?
He drives freight for a living. It's an ideal job for this. He just does his thing and moves on down the road. We picked him up at a truck stop sleeping not a day's drive from the farm where the kidnapping occurred. And they're processing his truck right now as we speak. Who knows what he'll find?
I think we should talk to the woman I found in Tampa. She's the only one that we know who has seen him for sure.
I really don't think that's necessary. Why would we put her through that?
Because if you try and convict Daryl Mott without talking to her, then you're never really ever going to know.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Remember me?
Yes, I do.
How have you been?
Well, I've had some good days and some not so good days. But more good than bad, I think.
I'm glad to hear that. Do you know why we asked you down here?
No.
We now believe that your abductor has done this multiple times. We think it's happening now. And we are trying to find her alive like we found you. So I need you to remember anything, and anything can help.
I really don't remember anything. It was always dark. I never saw his face.
What'd you smell?
Rust, water, metal, dirt.
Hear anything?
Nothing. Well, water dripping sometimes.
What do you remember about your abductor?
It was a man.
Keep going.
He didn't sound very old, but he wasn't too young either.
Do you have an accent?
No. But he used words I didn't understand.
Explain.
Sometimes when he spoke, he used a different language. I'd never heard it before.
What did he say to you?
He said he wouldn't let the auric hurt me anymore.
Did he tell you what the auric was and why it wanted to hurt you?
No.
Did he physically hurt you?
No.
What did he want from you?
I really don't want to do this anymore.
I know. But I also know you don't want anyone else to be hurt. What did he want from you?
Sometimes he would say something to me. He would say it over and over and over again. He would say, "Become me."
Did you know what that meant?
I think he wanted my help.
Help with what, Jennifer?
I don't know.
What you're saying is, to put it nicely, ridiculous. We know the person who's doing this is a man. We have an eyewitness. She just told you that he spoke to her.
But she didn't see his face. You heard that.
I also heard her say it was a man.
What does become me mean?
We're dealing with a megalomaniac. God only knows what this psycho is thinking.
When you spoke with Daryl Mott, was there any instance where you thought he was this kind of a monster?
Oh, but you think Mary Shaw's this kind of a monster. Do you even hear yourself right now?
Jennifer Raymond said that he wanted her help. Maybe he uses these women somehow.
I guess we're about to find out. Hello? Are you certain? Thanks for calling. Daryl Mott's truck is clean.
What about Beatrice? Didn't she identify him?
No, he lawyered up. They got nothing to hold him on. They're going to release him in about an hour.
What do we do now?
Let's go talk to Mary Shaw's family. As I said on the phone, we're here to speak with you about your sister Mary.
I've been thinking about this day for a year now. I knew it would come eventually, but you never know when.
I don't follow.
Our mother died about 3 months ago. I wish she could have held on a little longer to be here with me today.
I'm sorry for your loss. Do you know why we're here?
I assume you have found Mary's body. She is dead, right?
I'm afraid we have no knowledge of your sister's whereabouts. In fact, that's why we're here.
I don't understand. If you have not found her, then why are you here?
Mr. Jennings, we're investigating another kidnapping that shares consistencies with your sister's case. In addition, we have a witness's statement that suggests that your sister may have been seen alive in Northern California a few months ago. Now, I don't want to give you false hope, but we thought it was prudent to speak with you after hearing this.
Mr. Jennings, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Why?
Because you just found out your sister might still be alive and you didn't smile or ask any questions. And now you're not looking very well. I'm just trying to understand why that might be.
Of course I'm happy. I was told not to get my hopes up.
Arthur, have you spoken to your sister since her disappearance?
I want you to get out of my house.
Mr. Jennings, this is a federal investigation and we are here in that capacity. Have you spoken with your sister since her disappearance?
I have not spoken with my sister. How dare you come into my house and treat me as though I have done something wrong? It's you who should be scrutinized for your pathetic investigation. Now get out of my house.
Well, that was odd.
Mary Shaw is alive. Artie might not know where she is, but he has spoken to her. He went all pale when we mentioned she had been seen.
How do we find out what he knows?
Well, that's the tough part. His first instinct is to want to warn her if he knows how to reach her. In the meantime, we need to find out if Arthur's received any strange phone calls since his mother died. We need to find out if Mom left him anything in the will.
Well, if she's alive, she's not interested in the inheritance. I think you need to prepare yourself for what she has become.
And what is that?
Something you've never seen before.
You wanted to see me, ma'am?
How's she doing? Do you have anything at all?
Nothing much to go on. You already know that we spoke to Mary Shaw's brother. I think he knows that she's still alive, but he's not telling us anything about it. So I'm doing some digging, looking into possible assets that she left him, things like that. Everything's quiet. No ransom. The farm girl couldn't identify Darryl Mott, so there's not much to go on.
Well, you're in luck. Apparently your boy isn't too impressed with the local media.
What do you mean?
Some shithead downstairs mentioned that the little farm girl was found alive. So, a reporter wrote that your guy's an amateur. And this obviously excited him because he picked up a female UIC student in Chicago last night.
How do we know it was him?
The symbol was placed on a card and found in the alley behind the place.
So, any witnesses?
Security camera caught her sitting with someone that looked an awful lot like Mary Shaw. The college girl left with her.
What do we know about the girl?
Well, what I think you're going to find most interesting is the fact that it's Agatha's daughter.
Look, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to come out and say it. I think under the circumstances that you should go home. I appreciate everything that you've done here, but they've obviously made you a target. We're perfectly capable of handling the investigation from here. I will find your daughter.
26 years ago, my son was taken. He never came home from school. He was 8 years old, and he was never found. I had to admit that it changed me greatly. There were not many things that I derived pleasure from. There were a few days I couldn't find any reason to get out of bed. I was married. I had a daughter. But I didn't care about them anymore. I was cruel. My grief kept me from seeing the gifts that I had, what I still had in my life. You asked me why I was good at what I do. I really don't know. But I like to think that if there's God, He knows what I've gone through. My suffering is His will. But when I find these people, I am righteous, and I am in His grace. So it's not a choice for me. This is what I have to do.
Look, I don't know what you're bitching about. If they had enough intel to come pick me up, they knew it was just going to be a matter of time before they got to you. All I did was I pointed them in another direction.
Daryl, they've talked with her brother. They know Mary is alive now. Do you understand the advantage that we had when they thought she was gone? Do you understand that that advantage is now gone? We knew they were coming. But you have jeopardized this operation by giving them this information.
Then let's just kill her now. That way we don't have to worry about it.
Daryl, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. You are not a smart man. In fact, you're quite stupid. It's not your fault. I don't blame you, and it's not a reflection upon your character. You are a valuable asset, but you must learn to do as you are told and to shut the fuck up, because it would hurt me deeply if I were forced to have to kill you. You understand me? I can fix this. Will you help me?
Yeah.
Good. Kill Mary's brother and get out of town for a few days. Don't be sloppy. If Mary finds out what you did, she will hurt you in ways I couldn't even dream of.
Why don't we just ask him?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking out loud.
What is it?
I think it's time to press Arthur Jennings. You and I both think there's more there. And we need to find out where Mary Shaw is.
I'll have him brought in.
Yeah. I hope this guy wasn't crucial to your investigation, because I found him cuddled up in a snuggie on the couch with the bag over his head. He's on his way to the cooler.
What?
Arthur Jennings is dead.
Oh. Well, we knew that was a possibility.
We did. What world are you living in?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, look. I need an explanation. I need something to go with here. They've targeted you. Why? What do you know that you're not telling me?
I'm not sure about anything.
Okay, fine. Tell me your hunch, your gut feeling, your intuition. Give me something here.
12 years ago, I was hired as a consultant from a family in Connecticut. Their daughter had been taken. There aren't many similarities between that case and ours. There wasn't any symbol. But I did find a string of women taken, their families murdered. 23 of them, just like now.
How come I've never heard of this? This doesn't just happen without it being on every TV station across the country.
Because it was in South Africa. The woman I was hired to find was taken from Johannesburg. Others were from Cape Town, women of all races, although American women were of exceptional value.
What do you mean?
They were being sold.
Ransom?
No. They were gone. And once they were gone, you never saw them again. There was a man, his name was Gunther Christie. He had a small network. He was a supplier specialist. We were moving in on him, but he slipped away. I think he's back. And I think he's operating in the U.S. now.
How close were you to finding him?
I don't know. Days, maybe. He knew I was part of the investigation.
When did you say all these cases in Africa were happening?
2002?
And when you were brought on to those cases last year, did you suspect this?
Not at all. Why?
The woman you found in Tampa last year.
Yeah, what about her?
She was stationed in an army base in Durban for 15 months. She was there when it happened.
Oh,
shit.
What?
Guess who else was there?
Who?
Arthur Jennings. They were targeted.
Oh, wait a minute. If they were targeted, why was he so upset when we were questioning about his sister's death? Is Jennings' financial reports available yet?
Well, they're in here. What do you want to know?
Are there any unusual transactions or deposits in his bank statements?
There were 6 wire transfers for $25,000 each.
Where from?
Bissandre Import. Whatever the hell that is.
That's German. Exceptional import. What did Arthur Jennings do?
He owned a high-end furniture store, Persian rugs, things like that. It wouldn't be unusual for him to receive wire transfers like this.
Or appear not to be.
Where are you going with this?
I don't think Jennings was targeted. I think he was a facilitator. I think this is bigger than we can see. Takes a lot of moving parts to do this.
To do what?
Gunther Christie is selecting vulnerable women and hoarding them. I think he brought Arthur Jennings on to help shipping and customs. Mary Shaw is a part of this, and I think you're right. Daryl Mott is part of this somehow.
You know, if you wanted to spend the night, all you had to do was ask. How long have you been watching me sleep?
Long enough to plan your painful death 6 different ways.
How many do you need?
Just one.
Do I have enough time for one last cigarette before you kill me, or are you in a hurry to start this party?
I'm not gonna kill you, Daryl. I'm just here to let you know that I'm going to very soon.
You could have called.
Arthur wasn't gonna say anything. Why'd you do it?
What do you think? Okay, don't be stupid. That wasn't my call and you know
Don't
it.
put this on Gunther. You're a coward. Your days are numbered. And I promise my face will be the last one you see when it happens.
Fuck it. Why wait? I've got nowhere to be.
Not so fast. I begged him to let me, but he's not done with you yet. In the meantime, you owe me, so stand up.
got a roll of quarters over on the dresser I was going to use for the laundromat. You're welcome to them if you want.
So little faith.
Just trying to help. Hi. Yeah, patch me through to Agent Curtis Miller. This is Daryl Elmore Mott. Yeah, trust me, he's waiting for this call. Hey, asshole. Guess what? Today's your lucky day. I'm prepared to give you the whereabouts of several missing women and who has them. But in return, I want full protection. They were alive as of 3 days ago. We have a deal? Thought so. Yeah, go ahead, triangulate the call. I assure you I'm not on a burner. I'll be waiting.
Barry Waterman. 20K in 1 unit. 5'5", 140 pounds, Caucasian. Deadline? No. No, I'll find him. Consider it done. Now, before we begin, I have to say a few things. I hate this part, I do, but since no job is perfect, let's just get this out of the way. Your wife asked me to make sure and tell you that she is responsible for this. She said that she hates you, and you disgust her. In addition, she knows about you and Carrie Sheldon. She said, and I quote, "That little bitch will pay." There's a little more, but I'm sure you have some other schmutz on your mind right now, so yeah, let's just skip that stuff. Yeah, so anyway, let's do this. Thanks for lunch.
I will kill you in your sleep.
Mary, hellos and how do you do's are more than just common courtesy. They're a way for civilized people to start conversations so that everyone can start from the beginning. Unfortunately, you've jumped way ahead in this process and I don't have a clue as to what you're talking about.
You brought in an outsider to deal with Daryl. If you don't need him anymore, I should be the one to kill him.
We don't kill our own, you know this.
This is different.
No, it's not. Rules are in place for a reason.
I went to see him, you know. Told me you made him do it.
Mary, I'm going to ask you a question. But I want you to take your time answering. Because if I don't like what I hear, I might not be able to control myself. Would you take his word over mine? Answer me.
No, I believe you.
Good. Get the woman ready for Waterman. Make sure she has the mark.
Finally made it out of those woods, huh?
Squidge, you fat fuck. It's very important that you don't vomit while I do this. Maybe choke to death. Give me an ID right away. I just got word. Mary Shaw left Arthur 2 parcels of land when she died. Both are in southern Minnesota. Both are isolated. One of them is an old farm that's been empty for about 12 years. The other is a wooded acreage near the river, probably used for hunting. I'm coordinating with the locals now. There's new evidence to suggest that this is the right area. We're going to that ranch.
What's the new evidence? What is it?
The body of a woman was found near St. Paul about an hour ago, with the symbol branded on her. Now, they don't have an ID yet. They're working on it, and until we know something different, we're going to keep moving forward, okay?
I'm too late.
That's not true. Now get that out of your head. And we don't know anything yet. We're not done here. I need you to focus in on this. Miller. Are you sure? All right, I'm on my way. It's not your daughter. They think it was Beatrice's mother. The woman was in her early 30s. It's okay. But we need to get going.
You have the men converging on the ranch. I think you and I need to check out the acreage.
I don't think that's necessary. There's nothing out there.
He hasn't done anything typical up to this point. Why start now? If he has a choice between an abandoned farm or emptiness, I think he preferred the latter. He has a collection of women, and he doesn't want anyone to see anything. I think you need to trust me on this, Curtis.
Don't turn around.
I'm looking for my daughter?
Is she lost?
Yes. Are you Mary Shaw?
How old's your kid?
She's an adult.
How'd you lose her?
She was taken.
I said don't move.
May I help you?
I'm Special Agent Curtis Miller. Come on out with your hands above your head.
You have greatly overestimated your leverage in this situation, Agent. I know it's just you and that civilian outside. You're trespassing, and I'm well within my rights to protect myself. You're a sitting duck. Throw that piece on the ground before one of my men puts a hole in you.
That's not a realistic scenario. I don't want anyone to get hurt, so let's do this simply. Come on out.
Are you absolutely sure this is a path in which you wish to travel? I only ask because I am willing to let you hightail it back up to the road. You don't have to die today.
Neither do you.
Move.
Thank you, Mom. Oh, God.